Hi guys, and happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, September 10th, and I'm sorry I'm on a little bit late. There's a lot of prep time to making this card, and just wanted to make sure I got it right before I showed it to you. Now this is one of those cascading window cards. We've done one before where we just used the different layers and the designer paper. This time though, I'm actually going to use punches and dies. Now the ones I'm using today are just dies. Let me show you. These two are from the aspen dies, the aspen trees, which are in the mini catalog right now, the July to December. So those two are from the aspen tree dies. These four are from the Season of Chic. I love this. Lots of good stamps, lots of good dies. I still need to use that one. Okay, so what I did ahead of time, because I know you wouldn't want to watch me cut 9 million layers. What I did ahead of time is I took different colors, and let me show you the colors I took. Oh my goodness. I took these colors and I cut them into 6 by 12. I took them from my 12 by 12 color family. I cut them into 6 by 12, and then I put adhesive on the backing. So there's pumpkin pie, there's crushed curry. I always want to say really rust, but it's not. It's Cajun craze, old olive, cherry cobbler, rich raspberry, and garden green. So what I've done is, like I said, these were originally 6 by 12. I used a 3-inch strip off of this to cut all of these. So let me show you. Here's these. Here's, oh my goodness, I just have them all over the place. Here are, so that's that one. Here's these. We have the solids from the aspen trees. And then we have the two different size of the small rounded leaf. So all of these have the adhesive on the back. So it's going to make it much easier. All right, let me put it back over here so they're out of the way. And then I took a neutral piece of cardstock. So I took crumb cake. I'm going to make this the normal layer, first layer, which is 5 1/4 by 4. So there's 5 1/4, and this should already be 4. See, that's already 4. Then the layer you're going to, the solid colored stock color for our layers, I did just a slightly bit smaller. So I did this 1/8 down. So that would make that 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay. Before we start doing this, let's get our leaves on here. So what we're going to do is just going to take these. Oh, see, and the husband and dog have been back from the walk for a long time. So I'm really afraid he's going to come running in here to say something and not know that I'm actually doing my video now. Because usually I do it while they're at their walk, so he doesn't have to worry about it. So all I'm doing is just peeling off, and you got to make sure that you peel it all off. Now, for this technique, I definitely say you need to use the adhesive sheets. You can use the white multi-purpose glue, but I think that especially when you're running it through the Stampin' Gun emboss machine, you need to have adhesive on every part. So let me go ahead and peel these off. Like I said, the only reason I cut these ahead of time is the video is already going to probably be long, but if you had to watch me cut all of these, it would have been much, much longer. So, oh, see, and there's the dog. He's getting anxious. They came in from outside, so he thinks he needs a treat. My husband has taught him to beg for treats, and my husband gives it to him just so he doesn't bark. So, you know, he's taught him to beg, essentially. And so now my husband's like, gosh, I wish he would quit that. And I'm like, well, yeah, kind of trained him to want a treat and to beg for a treat. So no one to blame but yourself. Probably why my dog also gained 2 pounds since his last annual visit with the vet. All right, so I'm just trying to get some different colors in here. I think I'm going to take a pumpkin pie and I'll probably just do half of one. Oh, let me bring this out because we'll need it definitely for later, but it's also good to have this out if you're going to go off the edge. If you're keeping them all on your cardstock and not having them float off the edge, you don't really need your silicone mat. Oh, this is where not having nails does not help. All right, so let's go over that. Let me get a small crushed curry here. All right, what else do I need? Oh, I need one of these small ones. Let's see, let's do that. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of put it right in there and over the edge. And since you have the adhesive on there, it's going to be okay. It's not going to come off when you layer them like that. All right. And I think I'll do one more. I'll do a tiny little green one up there. Yeah. All right. Go a little bit along that line. There we go. All right, so I have those all down. I'm going to take my dollar store scissors because you can use your snips if you want. I don't want to get adhesive on my snips. And since you've backed these with the adhesive sheets, everything hanging over the edge has adhesive on it. All right. All right, there we go. All right, let me put those back up in my little thing. So there is your background. Well, let me get rid of all this little paper. Throw it over there. Okay, so now we're ready to start the cutting. So I am using, let me grab it from over here. I'm using the deckled rectangle dies. Love these, love these. And I'm not using the biggest one. I'm starting with the next biggest one. So, and let me show you, because I want to show you how I did this. So this is how they line up. Oh, now the dog's in here. He better not bark in here because he's already got his treats. No, he has. Oh, let me, hang on guys. I have to move my chair so I can lay by my sliding glass door. Because even though he doesn't want to be outside, he wants to see my husband sitting out on the deck. Okay, so here's the dies we use. And I have, 6 of them here. And these are all the shapes. What you're going to do is, this was 5 1/4 by 4. This is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So what you're going to start doing is, you're going to have your biggest one there. The next one goes to your solid cardstock. And I may have to trim that down even more. I'll show you that at the end. So then we're just alternating here. And here. Okay, now, and this is poster tape. You can use your blue tape. Make sure, especially after it's gone through the Stampin' Cuts machine, excuse me, that you take some of that tack off, or else it will, oh my goodness, it will rip your die cuts because the fibers are already broken down a little by going through the machine. So you kind of want to make sure that it's not at full tacky strength. Okay, so I have that down. What I do just to make sure is I flip that over there. So, and if you feel uncomfortable, you can put another sheet across that way. And then with the solid cardstock, I don't think it's as big of a deal if it moves a little. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Because this, you pretty much, since it's solid, if it shifts or moves, I'm just going to do it like this, you can always trim it down again. With this, since you have your focal points in there, a little harder to do. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have those taped down. Oh, Roxy here. All right, let's put those over here. Bring out our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're going to be using plate 1, 2, and then 3 3s. So let's go ahead. We're going to put this one on first. Now last time I didn't go through twice. I just went through and back. And yes, it's going to creak like that, guys, only because we have so many different layers here. It's cutting through, putting a lot of pressure on all at once. Before you take the tape off, turn it upside down. Make sure it looks like yours have all cut through, and it looks like it has. All right, so we're going to take the tape off here in a sec. Let's just run this through first, and then we'll go ahead and get this out of the way and start assembling. All right, let me go ahead, close that. Let me go ahead. Oh, sorry if you're seeing my big old hips there. Let's go ahead and put this here. I'm going to put my plates back, my little shelf unit here. All right, so now we're going to carefully, now these pieces you can now throw away. And I usually put these back on my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, but I think just because I've already put it away, I'm just going to put them on my little tower here that my phone is on. So gently pull. And like I said, you can use poster tape, you can use the blue tape, you can use Scotch tape, whatever it is, just to hold them in place. You just want to make sure that you take some of that tackiness off. All right, let me go ahead and put it back on that magnetic sheet, since I'll have a lot floating around here in a second. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll put these over here to the side. Let's go through this. All right, I'm being very careful. Sometimes it helps if you peel it at an angle. There you go. I only pulled a little bit of fibers off there. Let me go ahead now and get that. I'll put that, oops, sorry. Are you still there? All right, just want to make sure that since I hit my tower. All right, so let's go ahead and put these back on the sheet here. That way they all back to the beginning. Okay, now you can do it one of two ways. Some people start with the outermost edge and work the way on top. So like you would take this and then this. See, we're gonna have to trim that one down a little bit more. Oh, here's my cutter. just because there's a little bit of an edge there. So I'm just going to go to the inside of that. Let's do it on this one too. Just going inside of this guide. Let's see now how that looks. I'm going to have to do, I can already tell that's very thick. All right, so let's see how this is now. All right, so you can start with your outside most and go like this. So you want to make sure they're in the same direction. Oh, yep. The point of that flower leaf is underneath, apparently. Like that and like that. Okay, so that looks good. I usually go in the opposite direction. I usually start with this part and go down, but we're going to try it this way. The only thing is when you do it this way, I don't know, I just feel like you have more control over how you put the glue down. You know what? I think I want to trim that just a little bit more. I know. You guys are like, why? You're running the risk. You're going to do something. So I'm just going to have that, the inside of that frame hit that line. All right, I think that one's okay. And this one just a little bit. All right. I know it wasn't that big of a deal, but so what you can do, the reason why I like working from the bottom this way is I feel like I can get more with the glue. I'm doing the glue. This way I'm always afraid, where am I putting the glue? How am I putting the glue? So let's start the way I usually do it because I don't want to mess things up. So I'm taking my very top piece and I know I'm going to put glue around this. Now, I am going to use the multi-purpose this time. I'm not going to use an adhesive sheet on the back of this or tear and tape. So let me see if I remember which one is. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it barely on the, this must have been the one I was using earlier. All right. Yep, this is the one. So some of that off. So I'm just barely putting glue on the inside of that frame. I'm going to lay this on top. Hold it for a second. Little glue coming out on the side. But remember, it'll dry clear as long as your fingers are clean, which I don't know if mine are or not. Okay, so now I'm going to take this to the next layer. Again, I'm just going to go right on the inside. Now on this, I am going to go on the outside of this, but not too close to the outside. I must have really jumbled that up because that's coming out in a very thick line. You're going to try to make sure that it looks like you're lined up for your leaves. And again, hold it for a second. Next layer. Doesn't matter if you get glue on the mat or on the inside under here, because we're all going to mount it anyway with our adhesive strips, our adhesive foam strips. All right, so there, that's pressed down, but I bring it up every single time just so it doesn't get stuck as much. So here, now I'm going to go on the inside of this. And how you glue doesn't really, I mean, as long as you're bringing it down and you're not getting adhesive over the next layer. So let's line that up. What I'm really doing is I'm kind of watching this line and this line. Hold it down for a second. Bring it up. Oh, let me get a little bit of that poster's tape still on there. See how you see the glue there? Not going to worry about it. All right. So now we're going to do this. This is going to be a very, very thin line. So I think I'm going to go on this again. I'm going to have to go right up to that edge because since I cut that down, so I'm making sure there's very little glue, very, very thin bead of glue. It only takes a little bit to hold it though. So you're going to see how that border is not going to be that big on the sides. And then our last, I'm going to pop this up. So I'm going to put it upside down for a second. I'm going to bring out my old olive, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Because what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to make sure that I have it the right side up. So that's the continuation there. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. On this, I'm going to get it right in the middle because I don't want it to come, spread out on my old olive. So I'm trying to stay somewhat in the middle as much as I can. I didn't put that down very good. Again, it'll dry clear. And if not, that's a good place then to put ribbon or an embellishment. All right, so we have that piece down. We can now get rid of this. Cap our glue back up. Did you see that? I squeezed it while I was twisting it down. That's not going to be good. And I'm going to get out my foam adhesive strips. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on the back of this. But you don't want to see it, so you want to make sure you stay within the card. That little extra I'm just going to put in the middle there. Yes, you can cut these off too. I just rip them off. All right, let me do that. Bring that over a little. I don't want to see it off the edge. I'm going to take this outside one. Let me do about half of that because I'm going to do a little bit here. So it's kind of like when you're making a shaker card. You kind of want to build a box. I'm building the box just for support. And then just to help keep all those layers together, I'm going to put a piece there. Piece there. And a piece there. Just to give it some structure. You don't have to use as much if you don't. And you can also use your dimensionals if you want. I just think the strips help support it a little bit better than those dimensionals. But dimensionals would work fine too. So let me just peel off all of those strips. All right. Oh my goodness. I think I got them all now. Yep. All right. So now you're going to go ahead and you're going to line it up again. And press down those foam strips. And there you have a beautiful card using die cuts, or you could use punches instead of designer paper to make that layered look, that cascading look. So it looks beautiful. Oh, that's the end. I thought I had a piece of paper there, but it's the end of the tip of that leaf. But a fun way to create that look using your dies, your punches, and giving it an extra dimension, you know, not so flat. So thanks a lot, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you could. Also, tell your friends about my website, my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to get to 500, and I may never get there, but I just want to be able to share and connect with as many people as possible, just to share the joy of stamping and creating. All right, have a great Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow.